Hey everyone! Imagine waking up in a white empty room with no doors, no windows, and not even a ceiling in sight. Now picture yourself surrounded by strange, random objects that appear every time you press a button, with baby angels and bizarre occurrences happening all around you. Intrigued? Stick around, because today we're diving into the wild, surreal world of Symbol 2009. Welcome to Movie Recaps Hub, your go-to channel for in-depth and quirky film breakdowns. I'm Doolin, and today I'll be walking you through the chaotic, comedic, and fantastical journey of Symbol, a 2009 comedy, fantasy, and mystery film that defies conventional storytelling. So sit back, relax, and let's explore this off-the-wall adventure together. Our story kicks off in the strangest way possible. A Japanese man, dressed in very colorful pajamas, wakes up in a stark white, empty room. There are no doors or windows, and get this, no apparent ceiling either. As he's examining one of the walls, he finds something truly peculiar. A protuberance that oddly resembles a male member. After some initial pokes, he decides to press the tip of this bizarre button. Suddenly, hundreds of giggling baby angels burst out from the floor and the walls. They stay for just a few seconds before disappearing, but not before leaving behind their own weird members sticking out of the surfaces. This peculiar event marks what the movie refers to as the learning phase. Now, as he sniffs his finger, yes, you heard that right, he screams in fear, begging anyone for help. But of course, no one answers his calls, leaving him determined to press more buttons. Every time he presses one, a different random object falls into the room. One press gives him a small toothbrush, another reveals a big vase, and even the same button repeatedly dispenses the same item, like a mountain of chopsticks. It's all very bizarre until one button, pressed right after, releases a small cart that smacks him in the legs. Soon after that painful encounter, another button transforms into a butt, which, yep, passes gas right on his face. As the hours go by, our protagonist accumulates a huge variety of random objects. At one point, he tosses a ball at the wall, which then presses a button that gifts him sushi. Excited by this unexpected snack, he realizes he's missing soy sauce. After calling out for help with no luck, he presses the button repeatedly until sushi appears again, still without sauce. Frustrated yet hungry, he finally eats the sushi, only to get more when he presses the button. And eventually, a bottle of soy sauce shows up, nearly driving him over the edge. Not stopping there, he grabs a pair of old-school 3D glasses from another button. When he puts them on, he sees a baby angel pointing at his odd discovery, the mysterious member. That tiny moment of hope is quickly crushed when the next press triggers a countdown, culminating in a giant butt that once again decides to pass gas all over him. Then, after reading 5 volumes of an engaging manga, he presses a button expecting Volume 6, only to receive Volume 7. Increasingly frustrated, he experiments with other buttons that spit out 8 and 9, but still no sign of the 6th. Finally, his persistence pays off. One last button opens a hidden door behind a section of the wall. Excited, he rushes towards it, only to have it slam shut on his face, not once, but twice. It turns out that the door only remains open as long as the tip of that strange member is pressed down. Now begins a whole new sequence of inventive trials. Realizing what he must do, our intrepid hero tries everything, pressing the button with his foot, tapping it with a fly swatter from across the room, even attempting to use a jumping rope or a fan's air. Nothing works. His next idea? Placing a huge vase on top of the button to keep it down. But the vase isn't heavy enough until he fills it with water, then with sushi. The sushi-filled vase becomes so heavy, he can barely lift it. And even with chopsticks removing some sushi piece by piece, he loses track of which button to press. Amid chaos, the African tribesman unexpectedly appears when the wrong button is pressed, causing even more mishaps and eventually cracking his precious vase in half. In a state of absolute frustration, he covers the button with sushi, only to watch the member pop up among the rice. Trying tape, then tape with a steel plate, he still can't hold it down. After some painkillers and a much-needed nap to recover from the constant back-hitting door, he decides to wash his teeth by pressing a button that brings water. Instead, a rope falls from the ceiling, sparking a glimmer of hope. With that rope, he swings toward the door. But alas, the door is locked. Before long, a powerful kick reveals a floating key, yet as with the door, the key vanishes when the button resets. Now, he must find a way to keep both the key and door active. His search leads to another round of button presses where a barking dog emerges, twice. Finally, on his third try, success. Using a piece of sushi to mark the right button and then swinging on the rope, he combines his efforts with a plunger to push himself far enough to grab the key and press the door button just in time. However, as he inserts the key, the door reveals an extra challenge, a separate lock needing a 3-number combination. After being hit by the door one more time, our hero throws the plunger, releasing the African tribesman. Observing the tribesman, he notices 3 numbers painted on his forehead, the needed combination. Time is short, so he repeats his entire swinging and jumping process 3 times, inputting each number. On the 3rd attempt, he manages to open the stubborn door, but then the wall begins to close in behind him, trapping him in a smaller space. Devastated, he collapses onto the floor and begins to cry, mourning the loss of the freedom and entertainment he once had in that chaotic room. But then, a breeze caresses his face from the left wall. Curious, he touches it and discovers a crack, revealing a hidden panel. With renewed hope, he pushes the panel open and escapes into a mysterious hallway, suspended in pitch-black void. After what seems like an eternity running, he finally reaches another room. His hair has grown longer, and the vibrant colors of his pajamas have faded. Here, the door slams shut behind him, and surprisingly, the room is filled not with baby angels, but with adult ones. Like before, they vanish into the wall, leaving behind their peculiar members as buttons, ushering in what's known as the practice phase. Parallel to all of this, in a bustling city in Mexico, we follow another odd narrative. Little Antonio's family grows increasingly worried about his father, a wrestler known as Escargot Man, who has been strangely quiet. While his wife laments the challenges of facing a much younger opponent, his grandfather reassures everyone that experience will triumph over youth. Escargot Man is driven to the wrestling ring by his daughter, Sister Karen, for early preparations that include a wardrobe change and prayers to the Virgin. Meanwhile, Antonio faces bullying at school for betting on his father, being called names like weak loser. Finally, as the match is about to begin, Sister Karen whisks Antonio and the grandfather to the event, where the fate of Escargot Man unfolds. Inside the ring, the Northern Tough Ones composed of Super Demon and Tequila Joe, make a dramatic entrance. Soon after, Escargot Man and his partner Silver Eagle step into the fray under the team name Kiss Me a Lot. The match kicks off with Silver Eagle dazzling everyone, but he's quickly overpowered when the tough duo gang up on him. Even as they urge Escargot Man to join the fight, he holds back until a clever trick by Silver Eagle causes a rift between the opponents. But just as Escargot Man seems ready for a comeback, he's overpowered, until, in a twist of fate, our mysterious man from earlier presses a button. This action causes Escargot Man to magically extend his neck and knock out both opponents with a single head-slamming blow. The chaos doesn't stop there. The button's effect cascades, leading Escargot Man to inadvertently knock out Silver Eagle, the referee, Little Antonio, and even the bell. Desperate for answers, our button pusher experiments with more buttons. A metal band singer in Los Angeles ends up breathing fire. A Russian magician's assistant mysteriously remains visible during a disappearing act. And a man in China suddenly starts barking at his own dogs. Just when our hero is about to give up, he notices a light coming from above. Unlike the previous rooms, this new space has no ceiling, revealing angels soaring freely in the distance. Inspired, he tries a completely new tactic, using the member buttons to climb the walls instead of pressing them randomly. And guess what? It works. Every time he grabs a button or steps on one, incredible events unfold on Earth. Flowers bloom, an elephant dies, even a toaster mishap or a moon landing occurs. With each step higher, the scope of chaos evolves from nature to humanity. By the time he reaches the top, his hair and beard are now long, and he finds himself effortlessly floating like an angel, embracing his new role as if he were a god controlling destiny. He purposefully orchestrates humanity's biggest events. In a final flourish, he's surrounded by feathers instead of walls, and steps into a glowing portal that transports him to the final room. This room, adorned with the continents on its walls and featuring a massive member button, marks the beginning of the future phase. And that, folks, is Symbol 2009. A whirlwind journey through surreal humor, bizarre challenges, and unexpected twists that truly defies logic. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most eccentric movies ever, please give this video a thumbs up. Drop a comment with your thoughts or your favorite part of the film. And don't forget to subscribe for more movie recaps and deep dives. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay curious.